What's up, you guys? Renee here from Triple O Reptile. Today I'm going to show you guys how to set up a baby Amazon milk frog and a bioactive vivarium. So what is an Amazon milk frog? Well, it's this super cute little guy right here, and he is about to get an awesome makeover for his house. Now, first thing we got to figure out is, where do Amazon milk frogs come from? Well, Amazon milk frogs can be found throughout the Great Basin in South America, and they're a very communal species. So you can actually keep quite a few of these guys together, and they're going to be fine. You just want to make sure that they're all eating and getting a fair amount of food per frog. And another thing is just to make sure you get the right temps for them. These guys tend to bask a little bit more than most frogs, and you can find them living happily and thriving at a temperature of about 75 to 80 degrees. So without further ado, let's get to it.
All right, so right off the bat, we're going to be using some BioDrain by EXOTERRA. Now, BioDrain is going to be a really good drainage layer. It's going to help fill in some voids towards the bottom, and it's just going to be a really good area for your water to drain if you overwater, so your bedding does not become saturated and become a breeding ground for bacteria and fungus. Alright, so next we're going to be using our Galapagos substrate barrier. Now, I personally like this substrate barrier. It's a cleaner look, and I also like to have a little bit more excess whenever I'm using one of these, because I like to use some fold over methods to kind of fill in any extra voids that I might have. So next, we're going to add EXOTERRA substratum. Now, what this is a volcanic ash substrate that is perfect for plants, and it's easy for them to root into, and it gives them plenty of nutrients. It's also really good for your isopods, your springtails, and any type of microfauna. So like I was saying before, as you can see, those folds really help keep that substrate above that drainage layer. Next, we're going to add some ZooMed REPTI soil. Now, ZooMed's REPTI soil is going to be another layer of soil on top of your substratum. This layer is going to help maintain moisture and retainage to keep your plants nice and hydrated. The ZILLA Spring Cave is quite possibly one of my favorite products. It helps maintain humidity, and it looks great inside of an enclosure. But not only that, it also has a blue LED light that helps your animal still be able to see the running water even at night. A lot of reptiles cannot see stagnant, still water. However, running water tends to grab their attention a lot. And another cool thing is that the reservoir is completely covered, so your animal cannot get stuck inside of it and they can't drown. Next, it's time to put in some wood. Now, I'm very big on finding the right piece of wood for my enclosures, and for a milk frog, I like to do woods that have good amount of branches that are in different elevations. You want to have some that are lower and some that are higher, so it can help them thermoregulate. Milk frogs do tend to bask, but you want to make sure that they can get away from that basking zone if they need to. Next, it's time to add some plants. Always make sure to shake out the roots of your plants. You want to make sure that you're not introducing any foreign soils into your new enclosure, and you just want to make sure that your roots are nice and free so they can grow freely inside of your enclosure and they can breathe. Now, another important thing when picking plants is picking the right plant for your animal. You want to make sure that you're not picking fragile, weak plants when it comes to heavier bodied animals. So for a milk frog, smaller plants are fine for babies, but keep in mind, as they get bigger, they're going to get heavier and they can definitely do some damage to weaker plants. Next up, it's time to use some Galapagos sheet moss. Now, Galapagos sheet moss I personally like to use as a ground cover. It helps fill in any voids on the ground so you don't just have these dark, patchy, soily areas. So it looks good. And another big thing is that it really does help maintain the humidity in your enclosure. When you spray that, the moss is going to absorb a lot of that moisture and it's going to store it, and it'll slowly release that moisture back into the air to keep the humidity up inside of your cage. Next, it's time to spray the enclosure. This is a very important step because it's going to help make sure that your plants get the moisture that they need right off the bat, and it's going to help the moss maintain that moisture, and that way it can release it back into the enclosure and get that humidity right where it needs to be for your frogs. Alright, so now we just got to get our lighting going. So now we have our 5.0 UVB bulb by ZoomEd. And although these guys are nocturnal, supplemental UVB is going to be pretty much ideal for any reptile. So you want to make sure to always offer UVB whenever you can. Next, we have our nano dome fixture with our 40-watt nano heat bulb. That's going to be perfect. Sometimes they do like to bask, and it's going to help keep that temp in that cage just a little bit higher, and it's also going to help with the humidity as well. Alright, you guys, now it's just time to set them up and put them inside their new home. And there you guys have it. That is how you set up baby Amazon milk frogs. I hope you guys liked this video. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss a video that we put out. I'll catch you guys next time.